Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to show you how to set up this Bunn model number 55200 SCB3T Speed Brew Platinum Thermal Carafe 10 Cup Coffee Maker. This is what you got to do when you first unbox it. There is a setup procedure and you really do need to follow it. So Bunn coffee makers operate a little bit different than a standard drip coffee maker. The first thing is make sure they do put some filters in here. Take these out. Then we can put that back. Now don't plug it in yet. We're going to read the instructions. There is a power switch there. Leave that off. Don't plug it in. So before we get started, I want to explain things to you just a little bit. They'll make sense after a little bit, but Bunn coffee makers have a holding tank back here that keeps the water hot all the time. And then when you put water in up here, it displaces the hot water, pushes the hot water out, brews your coffee. That's why they call them speed brews. I cut open a really old Bunn coffee maker. This was the holding tank. There's a heating element down in there. Now this one was really bad with it needed descaled, so I use this for my demonstration of why we descale. So it's very important that you descale Bunn coffee makers. Here we've got a standard drip coffee maker, Cuisinart. I've cut several coffee makers open. They're all made about the same. So with a standard coffee maker, you put your water in, you put your coffee right here. I cut this open so the water reservoir is here. The water comes down. It is heated whenever you turn it on. So it heats whatever water you put in. It heats it up, sends it up this tube over the brew head. So a standard coffee maker is only on heating the water when you actually do a brew. A Bunn is different. So during this setup, we got to fill this tank. This tank comes empty. We're going to have to fill this tank. So we're going to be following the initial setup. Do not plug in the coffee maker until step 5 or you risk permanently damaging the machine. And here's the steps. We're going to be following each one of these. This holds true if the coffee maker has sat for a really long time. If you've let this thing sit for a month or two, that water is going to evaporate out of that tank. You need to follow the initial setup also. But definitely if you've just unboxed this and you're ready to start using it, you've got to follow these steps. Okay, so this is the funnel. If it wasn't installed, just remember take out those filters. You're just going to slide it in the rails. It's held up by some rails. They want you to fill your carafe full of water. Now it's got this little arrow. We're going to turn it to this little spot and it comes out. And make sure there's nothing in there. We're going to go fill that up with water. Okay, you're going to come up here. Make sure you're going to open this lid. This lid's going to be important to you later because see how it's attached to this little thing? This little thing, so the water is held up here until you close the lid. Once you close the lid, this opens up a plunger back here and lets it go into that tank. So keep this open, pour your water in here now. And you'll see it come up the steps. Those are steps on the left. Don't overfill it. There we go, all the way to the tin. Put your carafe down there. I'm going to leave the lid off for this part. Yeah, make sure the carafe goes down here. Then you're going to close this lid. That's going to start filling up that tank back there. And you can hear it. It's filling up an empty tank. I'm not sure if it looks exactly like this, but it looks something like this back there. So it says this could take up to 4 minutes to fill that internal tank. After that 4 minutes is up, we're going to repeat that process until we start to get just plain old water coming out of the bottom of this funnel. What that means is once we start seeing water come out here, that means the tank is full. So when we put water in, it's displacing it and coming out through the brew head. And again, we don't have it on, it's not plugged in, nothing. All of this is done with just plain tap water running through the machine. So that didn't take very long at all. We can see I opened the lid, it's ran all that water down. So now and nothing came out down here. So I'm gonna fill the carafe up again. Okay, we're gonna dump the whole carafe in here, hopefully up to the 10 mark. Again, the lid is open, so it's not gonna go back into that tank. Okay, make sure you put your carafe back, then close this lid. Okay, on this second one, I'm starting to get some water come out now. So don't just let it finish what it's doing. I started to get some water to come out. We'll just let it finish until it stops draining out there. Leave the lid closed until this finishes. So it's got quite a bit of water, just be patient. It's not going to overfill the carafe, so just be patient. It does have quite a bit of water that it's filling back up. Okay, so it finished. I can show you, so that's how much is left. Now we're just gonna go dump this out. Rinse this out with soap and water. If you didn't do that before, rinse this out with soap and water to kind of get any manufacturing dust or particles that were on it. So it says this coffee maker is 850 watts. So now it is okay to plug the coffee maker in. It's a 3-prong plug. And now it's okay to turn the switch on. Turn this switch to on. It's got a little blue light. It's a little hard to see. Now it says it's going to take 15 minutes. 15 minutes for the water in this tank to heat up. Then you're ready to brew coffee. Now this doesn't take 15 minutes every day because you're going to leave that switch on overnight. That's a Bunn. It's constantly keeping this water hot. So you may hear it kind of boiling once in a while. It's keeping that water hot. That way in the morning when you come in, put your water in, your coffee, close the lid. They call it a speed brew. In about 4 minutes, you've got a pot of coffee because it's got the water already hot. But this switch will be important if you ever go on vacation. So you want to turn that switch off if you're going to be gone. If you're not going to use this coffee maker for a week, you want to turn that switch off because it will boil away that water inside there. Check out my next video. I'm going to show you how we're going to make some coffee with it. And then I'm also going to show you how to descale. So you've got to keep up on descale on these. This is what happens, and this is what the inside of that tank looks like if you don't descale. But if we keep up on our descale, we can keep it nice and clean. I'll put a link to this in my show description notes. If you click on the link, I get a little bit of money from Amazon, but the products don't cost you anymore. I buy all my own products with my own money, so thanks everybody for your support. And if you could, please like and subscribe.